Hi guys, this is my review of my Specialized Allez 16 2010 model. I've owned this bike now for just over 5 years and it's been great. It's the entry level model, or was the entry level model back in 2010. Came standard with a carbon fork and Shimano 2300 grip set. I will have changed quite a few of the components and I'll talk you through those now and the reasons why I changed them. I think the first thing I changed on this bike after I got it was the bottom bracket, as the original developed play and the bearings failed on it, started to get notchy. I changed it at about 2,000 miles just to a square taper bottom bracket, nothing fancy, just I think a Shimano UN series bottom bracket. Second thing I changed in this bike was the wheels. The originals were, well, there's another word for it, shite. The original back wheel gave nothing but problems from the get-go. It was an Alex Rim S2000, I think, if I remember correctly, and I had issues with the spokes loosening off on it continually. Just had to keep tightening them up, re-truing the wheel. They were quite heavy as well, as you'd expect though from a 500-pound bike. You can't really complain with the weight, but the spokes shouldn't have been loosening off the way they were. So I sort of upgraded, I suppose you could say, to another entry-level wheel, the Shimano R500. Now these are cheap wheels, cheap and comparatively heavy to other things on the market, but they've been great. I've done approximately 8,000 miles on them. No issues, apart from I like to go through free hubs on them. The rear free hub I get about 2,000 miles to, maybe a bit more depending on use. It's on its third free hub now, but it's £11 a pop. Not too bad a job to do, half an hour. Can't really complain for the price of the wheels. You can pick these up now for about £65, these wheels, and as long as you're not really heavy. I weigh about 85 kilos, never had an issue with them, never snapped a spoke, never had to true them. They just go and go and go. Great training wheels, great commuting wheels. Try and stick to the bike though. Okay, the next thing I changed was the front fork. That was my fault. I crashed the original into back of a car at a set of traffic lights. Although I, at the time, brought it home, stripped it out the frame, had a good look under a nice bright light. I couldn't find any damage with it at all, but with it being a carbon fibre fork, I thought it best to err on the side of caution and swap it out anyway. But again, immensely strong fork. I would have imagined to see damage on it from a crash like that, but there wasn't. But just for my own peace of mind, it's a carbon fork for aluminium steer, as you can see. I just wanted to get a new one in the various marks and scratches and dings on the frame. Let me see. The next thing I changed was the chain set. I changed it from the old Shimano 2300 crank set to this FSA Vero, or Vero, how you pronounce it. I changed it primarily because I wanted a compact on there, 50-34, and all aluminium rings as well, so it was quite a lot lighter than the original, so it saved a little bit of weight there. I mated that up with entry-level Shimano mountain bike 8-speed cassette, 11-30. This will pretty much climb up any road climb that I've come across with ease. I broke off the original derailleur again in a crash. You understand, when I started riding this bike, it was my first proper bike and I was just learning cycling properly, so I made a few mistakes. Snapped the original off and the hanger, and as you can see, my professional paint job there, colour matching. I put a Shimano Soda one on there to replace the 2300. And ultimately, after a few thousand miles, changed to this Tiagra unit, as the original was getting quite a bit of notchiness in it and play, and was missing gears and all the rest of it. The shifters are original from when I got it in 2010. Done 11,000 miles. Shimano 2300, the old style with the thumb switcher, the thumb downshift. They're not the best. You can't really change gears when you're on the drops, but they have proved reliable. They are They are starting to wear out now though, especially the one that can, one for the rear derailleur. It's, you have to know how to change gear. Let's say if you're shifting up from a lower sprocket to a bigger one, sometimes you have to shift up twice and then shift back down to get your one clean shift up. Could do with another set of shifters on there, but they'll do for the time being, and they're pretty reliable. What else? Yeah, the one major gripe I had with this bike was the brakes. Now, from the start, the brakes have been pretty rubbish. Again, those Shimano 2300 brake levers, no name calipers, possibly Tektro, but don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. But they've been pretty poor from the get-go with the original pads. I remember once come down to descent in Wales and I was on both brakes and I couldn't get the thing stopped. That was pretty scary. I've tried all types of pads in there. I've tried Shimano Ultegra, high-end stuff. I've tried Swiss Stop, more high-end stuff. I settled on the cheaper stuff, to be fair. Clark's on the back, as you can see, and Evans Cycle's own brand pads in the front. The theory being cheaper, softer compounds that don't last very long but give better braking power, and they're marginally better than they were. Still, they're not stunningly great, but they do the job. Could really do with getting some better brakes on there, but I mainly only use this for commuting and training rides now. I have another bike for sportives. I have a Specialized tarmac. I must say the brakes on that are much better. I kept with the original seat, had no problems with it. Specialized Rival, really comfy over long distances. Up to the longest I've done on that's 125 mile. Had no issues at all. We're just going to get invaded by a little dog here. Hello, mate. Changed the bar tape a few times. Got this lizard skin high-end stuff on here now. To be fair, I'm not very impressed with it. It's not very comfy. Initially felt great. Lost a lot of its sponginess. It's gone pretty hard on the high stress areas. You're not going to leave me alone, are you? Come here, boy. Tyres. I've got the Michelin Lithium on there again. Michelin Lithium again, entry level stuff, but pretty faultless. This is the second set of Lithiums I've had. First set lasted 2,500 miles, no problems at all. I think I had 2 punctures in the rear in wet weather conditions when they started to wear out. No problems at all. You alright, mate? You alright, mate? He's just curious. Again, sticking with the cheap theme, BBB bottle carriers. Didn't last very long. Broken both of them. Snapped right clean through the bottom. Snapped clean right through the bottom of the bottle cages. Should change them, but they still work. They still work for commuting and training rides. Not bad at all. And overall though, I mean, I've changed a lot of things, and it sounds like there's a lot of problems, but there wasn't really. Done 11,000 miles on this bike, and overall it's a beauty. I love it. I'm going to keep it for the foreseeable future anyway. I'll probably run this thing into the ground if it doesn't see me out first. As I've mentioned, I've got a Specialized tarmac, all carbon bike, and there's not much between them, to be fair. Tarmac's maybe a little bit stiffer, a little bit more efficient on the climbs, but other than that you can't go wrong with this. If you're looking for a fast training bike, fast commuting bike, even for sportives, comfy sportive bike, can't go wrong with Specialized Allez. Sorry, there we go again, bad pronunciation. Other than that, the one thing I will say is in 2010 they supplied this came stock with the carbon fork. Now I believe it comes stock with an aluminium fork. Now I would go for the higher end version with the carbon fork because it does make the bike feel a lot more lively. It does take a lot of the road buzz out of it and make it a little bit lighter too. It's definitely worth the upgrade. That's it. Thanks for watching.